Hi guys, and on today's video we are going to be following me on my journey in turning my e46 M3 into a CSL replica. So I've had the car just over a year now and I've always wanted a CSL. Now you're probably asking yourselves, why don't I just go and buy one? Well, firstly, I don't have £40,000 to spend on one, and secondly, I can't justify that sort of money on a car I do 2,000 miles a year in. So follow me on this journey when we take the M3 standard into a modified CSL replica, or at least my take on it anyway. So the first modification I've wanted to do ever since I heard a CSL in the flesh is the carbon intake. Now I've managed to get my hands on a used one, which obviously saves you a large amount of money. I've got a replacement ECU, so if I want to I can switch back to my standard one if I did decide to sell the car, which I would think would be very unlikely. Now the airbox is known to give around 20-25 horsepower roughly once mapped, and it gives an incredible soundtrack. So let's talk about the pros to fit in this carbon airbox. Now firstly, as everyone will recognise, it's the intake noise. I've never heard anything like it on a naturally aspirated car, so for that alone I can justify it. Then you've got the throttle pickup, which is really exceptional. And you've also got the benefit of having a real rev happy engine. Now the NA engine, the standard, does love to rev out, but when you fit this inlet after 6,000 RPM, the thing just takes off. Let's move on to the drawbacks of fitting the intake. Well, unfortunately the biggest one has to be the cost. You're going to be looking at about £2,000 to get one of these fitted on the car, unfortunately, by the time you've bought the ECU and mapped it. You've also got the added problem that everywhere you drive you want to put your foot down just to hear it, so your fuel bills are going to go up. And then there's also that you have to keep the engine bay clean all the time because you just want to show it off to everyone whenever you can. So unfortunately, bolting the inlet manifold or airbox on isn't a straightforward process. Now the standard car runs something called a MAF sensor, which is a mass airflow sensor. Now the problem with this is when you run the CSL intake, it doesn't have an option for you to use that. So you have two options. You can either run a MAP sensor, which is a manifold absolute pressure sensor, or you can run the Alpha M mat. Now the Alpha M mat is a halfway house, unfortunately. You don't get the drivability of the mat. So for me, I would personally recommend going the extra hog and having your ECU upgraded so that you can run the MAP sensor. It's a small modification, but it does have to be sent away to be done to one of the specialists.